Boys and girls, I can't believe we've come to almost the end of our time together, and we're focusing on one of our final lessons, which is learning about severe weather. We know that from our study of the seasons and sun and shade and how the sun affects the earth, that there are a number of weather patterns that we follow. And we know that the weather changes in the different seasons, and we can use that weather to predict what is happening, and we can look at weather patterns to predict the seasons. And today we're going to talk a little bit about different weather events that have occurred in our areas and types of weather to be prepared for, and the purpose of weather forecasting. And in our lesson here, we have a great little video to watch about a meteorologist.
I'm a meteorologist. I love studying the weather, and I love being able to tell people how the weather works. So when people have real questions about how the atmosphere works, why does this kind of weather happen, I love being able to answer those questions for people. So it really helps to keep my passion for my profession going. Meteorology is a very interesting science because there are a lot of things that involve physics, both on a very small scale level and also very big. So when you're in your meteorology classes, you learn about things that are happening within a cloud, for instance, on a microscopic level. But then you broaden it out to the point where, for instance, when you're looking up at the clouds in the sky, you're learning something about the way that that works too. So you're looking at it on a micro scale and on a very large scale. There's a lot of physics in meteorology, but there's also a lot of life science in meteorology. So it blends two of those disciplines together. So if you have interest in either one of those things, I think meteorology would be fascinating for you too. I think the most rewarding aspect of my work is when I see someone have that aha moment, when I can make a connection with my audience and they know exactly what I'm talking about. Why is the weather going to be the way it's going to be over the next few days? I want the people that I'm talking to understand not only the high and low temperature and whether it's going to rain, but gain a little bit of insight as to why things are going to happen the way that they do. And when I know that I've made that connection, that's the most rewarding aspect of my job.
All right, so boys and girls, what is a meteorologist? Well, a meteorologist is a scientist who predicts the weather. And like she explained, she uses lots of different parts of science, different areas of science, to generate the answers that we need to know what our weather is going to be. She talks about clouds, she talks about physics, she talks about a lot of different areas in science. We're also going to talk about what happens when there is severe weather at home or in a school building. What do students need to do to prepare to be safe? And what are some things that you can do at home to be safe? We know that most of us have experienced tornado drills, and we know that those sirens go off and that there's things that we have to do to be prepared. And it's important for us to familiarize ourselves with those procedures. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and we're going to talk about some other things related to weather.
If your area is under a tornado warning, act now. You may only have a few minutes to get to safety. Seek shelter immediately. Go to a safe room, basement, storm cellar, or the lowest level in a sturdy building. If there is no basement, go to the center of the building and away from windows and doors. Put as many walls as possible between you and the outside. Get under a sturdy object like a table and cover yourself with pillows and blankets. Use your arms to protect your head and neck. A helmet can offer some protection too. If you are in a car, drive to a shelter immediately. If there isn't enough time and you are caught by extreme winds or flying debris, park the car as quickly and safely as possible out of the traffic lanes. Stay in the car with the seatbelt on. Put your head down below the windows. Cover your head with your hands and a blanket, coat, or other cushion if possible. Do not park under an overpass or bridge, and never try to outrun a tornado in an urban or congested area. If you are outside, find the lowest point on the ground and lie face down. Use your arms to protect your head and neck. And most importantly, watch out for flying debris. It causes most fatalities and injuries. Safety is job number one. Get weather ready.
So there are a lot of important things that we need to do to protect ourselves from dangerous weather. I want you to talk on Seesaw today about what you do when there's a thunderstorm. What are some things that your family does? Do you have younger brothers and sisters that are afraid? What are some things that you can do to help them feel more comfortable, or even yourself? I have dogs at my house, and I have one dog that when he hears the thunder, he just starts to shake. So what do you think some things might be? What are some things that I could do that might help my little dog when he hears the thunder? Talk about at school. If you are in a school building with lots of other children, what are some things that you could do to be safe? What do we want to look for in our weather forecast? Think about the things that you do on a daily basis with your family when you want to check out the weather. It's important to know what the temperature is going to be so you know how to dress. It's important to know that if there is severe weather coming, to be prepared for that. Here are some things in our student journal that we're going to look at today. We're going to talk about a chart, and we're going to take a look at different patterns of weather, and we're going to look and see which days had the most sun, what kind of rainy days we had, how many. And we're also going to take a look at some weather charts like this one and try and predict what season it is. How many cloudy days are there, sunny days, rainy days? And then you're going to have some charts that show different types of weather. And I want you to think about what we've learned about the seasons and about the sun, and can we use those patterns to predict the different season? Because those are all things that a meteorologist does. You're also going to take some time and record a video discussing your plan, what your family would do for severe weather. So if you had a tornado warning in your area, what things would you do? Where would you seek shelter? What items would you take with you? If there was a flood in your area, how could you prepare for that? What are some things that your family might need? What are some things that you could do to help your family? So I want you to think about some of those things today, boys and girls, and I want you to record those things on Seesaw, and then we'll discuss them as a group. We'll reflect on each other's, and we'll give some glows and grows, and talk about did we cover all of our bases? If we have a basement, is that where we go? Is there a special room that we go to? What do we do if we have a lot of windows or doors? What do we do if we don't have a basement? Where do you seek shelter in your home? Those are all things that I want you to think about today, and I would like for you to reflect on Seesaw. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know and record that on Seesaw as well. We're going to, again, look at weather forecasting. You and your family have been tracking weather since the beginning of this unit. What have you noticed about the patterns of weather in your area? Are you headed into an early fall in the area where you are? Is summer still hanging on? What are you seeing with the temperature patterns and things? So those are things that we're going to be reflecting on, and I hope you're ready to reflect on Seesaw, and I can't wait to hear what you will have all found out. Again, if you have any questions, let me know, and we'll go from there. And I've really enjoyed getting to know all of you and working with you guys as a class, and I can't wait to see what you've come up with.